Wow.
Do you want to rock an intro?
Is this 209?
This is 209, methinks.
I suppose we should check.
Well, yeah, that's what it says per the whatchamawowser Madoo.
The whatchamawowser Madoo.
Yes.
Wow.
The email. The email.
Oh, okay.
That's a wowzer Madoo.
Gotcha.
For those of you that don't know.
Welcome to the Video Game Show, episode 209. I'm Ivan, and with me today is Keith. Say hi, Keith.
Hi, Keith.
And that's it, because Chad is driving across the country.
Yeah, he's gallivanting around the countryside.
Bob is chained to his desk, animating things for DreamWorks, and Phil had an excuse, but I don't remember what it was, so...
Softball, kickball, something, party?
Something along those lines, yeah.
So, anywho, oh yes, apparently both of our Xboxes haven't red ringed.
Really?
Because here's the thing, my Xbox red ringed about a week ago. And then, Sue has been on an Oblivion kick. So we borrowed Brian's Xbox so she could continue the Oblivion kick.
Sure.
And that red ringed. Well, apparently when she got home today from work, she just said, oh, what the hell, let's try it. And lo and behold, it worked.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing with the red ring, is it's gradual.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting on my coffins to show up, but...
That's what happens, is it locks up once and you get the red ring, you shut it off, wait a while, turn it back on, and it'll work again. Eventually you'll get to a point where you'll turn it on and you'll get the red ring, and that's it.
And that's just the end of days for the Xbox?
Yeah, and then you can wait as long as you want and turn it back on, and it still won't come back on. So
it's such crappy quality. And that's so aggravating.
It is. Not that it's an excuse, but I think they've kind of fixed that. The newer versions of that model.
But I got a new Elite one that red ringed.
Oh, okay.
And Brian's Xbox isn't even an original generation one. Brian's Xbox is only a couple years old. It's like 2 years old.
Yeah, that sucks then. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, it's just that, yes, they say they fixed it, but they didn't fix anything. It's just, when I still have an Atari and a Nintendo up in my parents' attic that works,
right?
People are still using PlayStation 2s. Why is it so damn difficult to make a console that works?
Well, I still think the original version that they had the problems with, the original design that they had the problems with, they rushed to get to market to be the first next-gen console in front of PlayStation and whoever else. And I think that's where the troubles came in, and I just think they've been putting out fires ever since.
But it just is one of those things where I don't view it as overly acceptable. I mean, you can test all this stuff. Don't tell me you can't. You can. It's just, it just aggravates me to no end.
It sucks.
So anyway, at least it's working temporarily for the time being.
Temporarily for the time being.
I guess that would be temporarily. But anyhow, I'm just frustrated in the simple fact that it's broken again.
Yeah.
I'm now on my sixth Xbox.
That's a lot. I didn't know you had that many either. Mine broke once, and I got a replacement, and I haven't had any problems. Well, major problems.
Well, mine broke originally, and I sent it in. And then they fixed it and sent it back, but they didn't fix it because the disk drive didn't work. So I sent it back again. And then the one that they sent me the second time, it would just shut off after like 15 minutes of playing. So I had to send it back again. So then they sent me a new one. That one worked for a while, and then I got the Elite. And now my Elite's red ringed.
And then Brian's.
And then we borrow Brian's, and now Brian's is red ringing.
What'd you do with did you trade in your original to get the Elite?
I sold it.
Yeah, okay.
I just sold it to a different person.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, sir, I don't like it. It's so aggravating that they just won't make a product that works. I don't understand.
I don't know what to tell you.
I know it's just me venting, but in my humble opinion, it just makes me think much less of Xbox, that they can't be bothered to make a halfway decent product. But hey, it is what it is, right?
Yes. Speaking of Xbox, I played a whole crap ton of stuff this past week. You'd be very proud of me.
Really? What'd you play?
I played no less than 3 arcade titles over the course of a week. Well, I'll start in the order that I enjoyed them, I guess, from least to worst. So there's a movie out. It should be out. It's got to be out now, called Scott Pilgrim versus whatever. And they created an Xbox Live Arcade game title for it. And I had no idea what this game was going to be like. I got a copy from the Xbox guys like a week before it actually came out. And so I tried it, and it is very, very much like old school Double Dragon. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up kind of game where you advance and then a bunch of guys come out and you beat them up, and then you have to advance to the next section and then you do the same thing. And the graphics are very 8-bit, old school 8-bit as well. And it was mildly entertaining, although I never cared for Double Dragon. So
really, you weren't a Double Dragon fan?
No, I never really cared for Double Dragon, so I couldn't really get that far into it. I got up to and past the first boss, and then kind of turned it off just because I wasn't that interested.
At that point, you've had enough Double Dragon.
Right. If you like Double Dragon, or I think it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a couple years back had an Xbox Live
they did
arcade game that was very much like that. It's a lot like that as well. It's kind of, so Scott Pilgrim apparently is kind of like a superhero. He's got like powers or something in the comic book movie and the video game kind of thing. You've got your basic attack moves, and you've got some special moves that you learn as you level up. And the plot is pretty much taken right from the comic book and the movies. Apparently, Scott Pilgrim likes this girl who has 9 or 12 ex-boyfriends or something like that, and you have to... Each of the end bosses is one of her ex-boyfriends, so that's kind of the plot of the game. It's fun, but yeah.
That's a ridiculous plot, though.
It is.
You have to go fight her ex-boyfriends?
Yes. Yes, you do. And apparently all of their buddies or something are the people you're fighting.
Well, of course.
And then I played a game called Hydro Thunder. Which is
the Hydro Thunder?
I don't know. What is the Hydro Thunder? Is that
wasn't there's like an arcade game where you were like, I think it was called Hydro Thunder. I'm gonna have to Google this because I'm pretty sure that there was like an arcade game where it was a racing.
Well, that's what this is. This is like a speedboat racing game.
Yep.
It's a racing game on water in speedboats.
Yes. That's actually a pretty old game, because even just looking here, I see it on the original PlayStation, Nintendo 64. Okay, so it's probably the game I'm thinking of then.
Probably. It's probably just a updated version. There's not a whole lot to say. It's a racing game. You race, and you drive over turbo power-up things. So you've got a turbo boost that's got a limited amount of turbo boost, and you run over the little turbo boost thingies to fill your turbo boost gauge back up. The level design, though, is really cool. There's a Viking level where there's all these old Thor and other gods like in the background, and the waters are all wavy. And one of the boats that you are racing against is a gigantic Viking warship, which doesn't look like it's an unlockable boat, by the way, but it would be freaking sweet if it was. But it's a boat racing game. Again, there's not a whole lot to say. If you like racing games, I guess it's good. Racing games for me are kind of hit and miss. I enjoy them for a while, but it's one of those things where the difficulty always, skyrockets, and you get through the first few levels and they're easy, and then the next few you have to fight to actually win the race, and then the later level ones are like they're impossible. I have the same problem with like Mario Kart and stuff like that, but what are you gonna do? It's a boat racing game.
But I mean, so it's, in other words, you like it, but it gets old.
Right.
Or gets difficult, I should say.
Yeah. It gets difficult, and therefore I don't like it. So, but yeah, it's nothing super spectacular, but the levels are pretty cool. And but yeah, it's a boat racing game, so I don't know really how far you're gonna. It's never gonna win Game of the Year because it's a boat racing game. And then finally, I played Monday Night Combat, which is a really cool game. It from the description, it sounds kind of like Horde mode in Gears of War or any Left 4 Dead, one of those games where you're just in a room kind of thing, and there's just swarms of bad guys. It sounded like a cross between that and like Team Fortress 2 with the different types of guys that you can play. There's like a assassin guy who can stealth, and there's the tank and the assault guy and the sniper. So it sounded like Team Fortress 2 mixed with just a horde mode kind of thing, deathmatch horde mode kind of thing. But it's actually pretty cool. The premise is they completely make it like American Gladiators or something like that, where it's like Monday night, this is the big thing to do, is watch this. And there's this giant money ball in the middle of the arena, and your job is to protect it. And these waves of bad guys come at you, and this is single player, obviously. And these waves of bad guys come at you, but you've got all of these special moves that you can do, and it's kind of like Shadowrun or whatever Shadowrun was based on, the shooty game.
Shadowrun was Shadowrun.
Yeah, no, but the like in between levels, you can level up your skills. Kind of, you can buy your skills. Counter-Strike.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like Counter-Strike. As you kill stuff, you pick up money, and with that money, you can upgrade like one of 4 skills that you have. From like level 0 to level 3, so that you can level them up, each one of them 3 times, so that by the later part of the match, you're fully upgraded with all of your stuff. And you can buy turrets throughout the arena so that the turrets shoot the bad guys as well. They help you out. It's one of those games where, again, single player, it gets kind of boring after a while because it's the same kind of thing over and over. But this is definitely one of those games where if you've got a few friends that you can play with in multiplayer kind of stuff, it would be a lot more fun. Especially because in single player, you can play like 1 round, 2 rounds, or 3 rounds. And the later rounds are really hard because the earlier rounds, they just come out of one door and they come right at you, and you just kind of mow them down as they come out. The later ones, they come out of like 2 different doors, and with just one person, it's kind of hard to, control all of the guys coming out. It gets a little hectic with just one person. So having multiple people would be a lot of fun. And then I'm assuming you can play, deathmatch style. You can play versus with other people instead of having the bots. But it's really cool. The upgrade stuff is fun. It's very much like Team Fortress and the different guys that you have. You've got the sniper, the sniper and the tank and the assault guy, and the assassin rogue type person who has super speed and invisibility kind of thing, and has a sword instead of a gun, that kind of thing.
Well, right on. Because I've always enjoyed those games. Those just kind of, here's 4 players go, like the Marvel Ultimate Alliances. I remember Chris had the one for the Xbox. Was it Hunter?
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like being the priest with the crossbow. That's all I know.
Right. The difference here is that those games are kind of level-based, where you, meaning Marvel Ultimate Alliance and the Hunter game, it's a level design kind of thing. You move out through this level. This is more arena-based, you know what I mean? So it's one room, and it's very much like a deathmatch type level, where there's multiple entrances and exits and stuff like that, but it's one room, and you just run around this room. But it's still pretty fun.
And this is an arcade game?
Yeah.
And what's it called again?
Monday Night Combat.
So it's like Monday Night Football, but with fighting?
Yeah, and it's got the whole announcer kind of, Monday Night Football kind of announcer kind of guy.
So it's very Smash TV-ish.
Yeah. And he announces stuff throughout the levels, and then in between each round, there's the mascot guy who comes out and just kind of bounces around, and if you shoot him, money shoots out of his orifices, I guess. I don't know what the heck he is. He looks kind of like
money shoots out of his orifices.
He looks like a slider kind of thing. He's this big, poofy, dorky, nondescript animal thing that just kind of bounces around, which is actually, a guy in a suit, because he actually talks when you yells at you when you shoot him and stuff. But
I was actually thinking, now that you said that with Smash TV, the kids today that play that game, like, if your son were to play Smash TV, the prizes you win are horrible. You win like VCRs and toasters. Anywho. All right, next topic here. Did you play any other games, I guess I should say?
The only other game that I played, and it is an iPhone game, but they also have, it's based on a board game. Apparently, and I found this out because AMP 300, a member of our forums, is going to be one of the PAX Omega Knots, which is the PAX every year has a gaming...
Yeah, he's a participant in the gaming...
Yes. So I looked, actually, that same day I looked, and Penny Arcade listed the games that are going to be in the Omega-thon, or whatever it's called. They have 5 of them here. Round 1 is Zombie Dice, round 2 is Bomberman, round 3 is Katamari, round 4 just says A Music Game, and round 5 is Puzzle Bobble. So Zombie Dice I'd never heard of, and it sounded cool, so I looked it up. And it's a board game in the loose sense. It is a dice game, but it is a real game. But they have an iPhone version, so I was playing that. If you've never played Zombie Dice, it's actually pretty fun.
Is it like Dragon Dice? Dragon Dice was the D&D type game where instead of buying miniatures, you would buy the dice. The different dice represented the different armies.
Yeah, it's not so much. It's not a traditional dice game with a 6-sided die with 1 through 6 on them, but it's not collectible either. It's 13 dice in 3 different colors, green, yellow, and red, and
no blue.
No blue.
That's odd. I'm just saying, because coming from gaming colors, you always have red and blue are always your 2 sides.
Well, so each die has one of 3 things on them, either footsteps or shotgun blasts or brains, and
in that order.
Not necessarily.
You walk, then shoot, and then there are brains.
The green one has more brains than the other 2. The yellow one is kind of even, and red has more shotgun blasts. And it's a very simple game. The premise of the game is you're a zombie, and you have to eat as many brains as you can by rolling dice and getting brains. If you get footsteps, that means the humans are running away from you, and you take that die and you can roll it again. And then if you get 3 shotgun blasts in a turn, then you lose all the brains that you've collected that turn. And that's pretty much it. You can you can go as many times as you want until you either stop rolling, you decide to stop rolling, or you get 3 shotgun blasts. And that's the entire game.
And then you lose everything. So it's really how much of a gambler are you?
Yes. Well, you don't lose everything. You only lose that round. So if first round you get 6 brains, you always keep those 6 brains. And then the next round you can get 14 brains, but then if you get 3 shotgun blasts before you finish, you lose all of those brains, but you still have your original 6. But yes, it is kind of a gambling kind of thing. And then the first person to collect 13 brains or eat 13 brains wins. And
I don't want to eat them. I just want to collect them and put them on my mantle.
So that's the whole game. And it looks like as a board game, like as a play with somebody in person kind of game, it looks like it would be kind of fun. The iPhone version is okay. It's very quick. Each game takes less than 5 minutes to play. But it's a lot of fun. So that was the only other thing that I had played. So I downloaded it. It's a free download on the iPhone, iTouch kind of thing. So that was the only other thing that I had played. So with that, I am finished with things that I have played.
I downloaded Mafia 2. But I have not yet played the demo. I didn't yet play it, though. Because, let's face it, I really dig the Mafia-type things. But this has been another crazy week, so I haven't had oodles of time in that department.
Yeah. Is it is Mafia a Grand Theft Auto-type game? Open.
Did you play The Godfather?
I did not.
Oh, that was a very good game. That's honestly one I would say if you can find that, you can probably find that pretty dirt cheap. Mm-hmm. I give it a whirl because that was fun because you could choke people on the streets. So it's just like old schooly mobsters. And in Godfather, I know you go around and you have to take out other warehouses and collect money and gather territory and get people to pay you protection money and that kind of thing. I'm assuming Mafia 2 is along the same vein. I have not played Mafia 1, so I don't know what it is, but the graphics look cool, and it does look like, along a very similar vein in that sense. So I'm looking forward to that, because like I said, I loved the Godfather game. My dad bought that for me.
Nice.
And he would sit there and just laugh and tell me, go choke that guy. And I go over and walk up to him, and in the controller when you're and I know I'm really harping on the choking, but it was so fun. Because you just walk down the street, if you bump into people, they're like, hey, watch it, and you turn around and just start choking them, and you can feel their heartbeat in your hand, like in the controller, because it's vibrating. So you didn't have to kill them, you could just choke the shit out of them and let them go. Because it had like a Grand Theft Auto. It was very similar to Grand Theft Auto, just kind of with mob people. Yeah. But I'm assuming that Mafia 2 is going to be the same way. But I will play that before next week to say for sure. But I also wanted to bring up, I saw that THQ is now trying to fight against used games.
Yeah.
With the online play code. I think that's a brilliant idea. I don't have a big problem with that. Because you can still play the game single player. You're just not going to be able to play the whole game. But, I mean, we could probably bring that kind of stuff up more when we have more people around, like for the discussion things.
Yeah. Mainly because I don't really care that much. I know it's kind of controversial, and if I thought about it enough, I might have be on one side or the other, but I buy so few games anymore that it's not like buying used games is something that I do frequently, and therefore this is going to cause issues with me. So the other thing is that I'm still one of the few people that I know that just thinks that when digital movies and games are all anybody's ever going to be doing. This is kind of going to go away anyway because you can't sell a used download game. You know what I mean? So this really is only an issue for as long as physical media is still around, and I don't know how much longer that's going to happen. They're selling full Xbox 360 games as downloads, or I should say full games now, not necessarily just 360. You know what I mean? So it's coming, and it's going to be coming soon.
See, I don't know if they can completely do away with the physical media. I know personally, I'm not a fan, because I didn't realize this because I never bothered reading anything, but I did make CDs of all my stuff that I've ever bought on iTunes, but you can't re-download the stuff. So if there's some kind of a problem and you lose your stuff, you're SOL. So in that regard,
it's up to the distributor though. That for whatever reason that was Apple's decision. But then you have stuff like Steam where you download something, you can download it to any computer you own, you can download it to multiple computers, you can delete it and then download it again, kind of thing. So it's really, if it's done well, if it's done right and it's done well like Steam does it, then I don't have a problem with it at all.
I don't know. I just foresee the developers and that kind of thing being greedy about it. Like, you get your one download, and if you lose it, oh well, like Apple. But, because I still, while yes, it's very convenient, that's hard to say. Because, because I got games that I bought that I have no clue, like Savage, for example. Not that I'm ever going to play Savage, but I don't, since I've redone my stuff, I don't know what my codes and stuff for that were. So, just because I'm not as organized as I probably should be or would like to be, I kind of do still dig the physical media. But I can't argue with you in the fact that, yes, it's going away, and it's going away at a fairly rapid pace. But, hey, it is what it is.
I'm on 36 minutes.
Yeah, I'm on the same. And like I said, I don't want to get into the discussion stuff because it's just you and I. No offense. Yeah. So, yeah, let's go ahead and we'll call this an episode. And damn you people, you'll like it because the two of us did something for you anyway.
Yeah, ungrateful bastards.
Exactly. And I don't know what's going on for next week because next week's PAX.
Yeah, that one will be even more interesting because it's not like some of us are here and everyone else is busy doing stuff. It's going to be, we're going to be here and there's going to be a bunch of people in Seattle. So I don't know if we're going to try and coordinate something or if they're just going to do something while they're in Seattle and kind of say, screw you guys. I don't know what's going on. So I'm assuming we'll talk about that sometime this week. But PAX starts on Friday, so
I'm sure we'll have something that we'll do something next week, be it us or be it them, but I'm sure we'll do something.
I agree.
So that was Video Game Show episode 209. Ham sandwich to Jake Delhomme. Way to show that the old man can still do it. He's been looking good. I understand it's still preseason, but you know what? It's Cleveland. I'll take what I can get. They
did lose to the Lions, though.
But they lost with the second, third round, third teamers.
Oh.
When all the starters were pulled, we were winning.
Okay. I didn't watch any of the game. All I saw was the final score.
That doesn't mean that, we extrapolate that out over the whole game, we would win, but I'm much happier this year than I was with previous years. So, good job, Jake. Keep up the good work. If you win 8 for me, I'll be happy. I'm not even aiming the bar that high. Go 500 and I'll be that's a good football season for me.
There you go.